Alright, welcome to the Spider Pop Arcade. I'm Gordon. I'm here with Blanc and Magpie, which means we are doing more Echo. We're gonna do more of Carl's route. Also, so as of late, I've been doing fine. Doing better than fine because Blanc's been raining on the queer, furry, horror, romance visual novels. Apparently, yes, this is a common genre in a very particular indie game scene. And I've been playing Bros, and it's fucking amazing. I immediately had to become a patron for them after playing it because it was so fucking good. But I can't stream that game here, and I don't. And I do
because you're a coward.
Well, also I don't feel like opening a what is it? I don't feel like making a Pornhub account to do that. So, all right, it should be here, right here. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I have some food with me. All right. So what's going on right now? We're getting ready for his interview. Oh, we're gonna go clothes shopping so we can have the.
Yep. Got him a new outfit for his interview.
Why don't you? Are you sure you don't want to come down? Carl lays spread on his bed, game controller clutching both paws that are thrown over his head against the pillow. He offers me a glance, but returns back to his game. This time it's a new-looking open-world fantasy, and honestly, I'd much rather be watching him play it than doing homework. I just don't want to distract you, man. And you know how much help I am. I frowned. Almost went back into fucking gray mode right there. Well, it'd be more for the company than anything. Don't you want to look through the stuff too? Carl screws up his muzzle as if contemplating. I've seen most of it, dude. I wrapped half of the stuff in there. All right. I paused, but he doesn't say anything. It's clear he's not interested, so I have no reason to nag him. That sort of hurts my feelings. I would have been like, please come down there because there's spiders down there, and I don't want to flip the fuck out.
Please protect me.
As I make my way through the basement alone, I realize another reason why I would have appreciated Carl's company. The house is creepy as fuck. I've always been a bit of a pussy when it comes to scary things. I sure could have fooled me considering the Leo route. I mean, once I'd seen a scary movie about possession. Oh, great foreshadowing there, game. I've been afraid to go to sleep for weeks, mainly because my nightmares can seem so real. It also took a month for me to manage it without the lights on, and I was 18 at the time.
Oh, baby.
I was a baby man.
Baby child.
Now I mentally kick myself for remembering that movie while I'm down in Carl's creepy basement alone. Once I get to the crawl space, I do an awkward half run to the flood lamp that probably would have made Carl laugh his ass off. That space is really fucking creepy. I imagine Carl sleepwalking down here, which I'm pretty sure is what happened last night, then waking up alone in the dark. I can understand why he was so freaked out. The sight of the plastic tarp at the bottom of the step brings back memories of the tarantula as well. I have a good reason not to go down there at all. I still don't know if what I saw was real. Or some kind of, oh god, hypnagogic hallucination that my mind always seems keen to throw at me. So, that word comes from hypnagogia, which is the state when you transition from consciousness to, like, in between sleep and dreaming. I scanned the tarp, its white and clean surface, free of any insects as far as I can tell. I shudder again before making my way slowly down the steps, eyes still darting around. Come on, you idiot, this is ridiculous. When I was younger, I used to have a problem where I'd wake up in the middle of the night and see spiders crawling up my walls. I'd scream and one of my parents would come running to tell me nothing was there. My dad talked to his psychologist friend who told him it was normal, so we didn't do anything about it. By the time the hallucinations stopped. They didn't come back until I took the night shift near my university's campus. After that, I started to get sleep paralysis, and about half the time spiders are involved. Oh my god, this is poor man. I don't even have, because, like, you know, I'm terribly salacophobic, and I've only had maybe 3 or 4 shark dreams, and one of them wasn't even scary. It was just very strange. But I even have self-defenses in my shark dreams. Like, I had one dream where I was on a shark themed roller coaster that actually, like, you know, gets into some really wet areas. It looked like a roller coaster adaptation of Deep Blue Sea, now that I remember. And I'm just like, I don't want to see the shark animatronic things. I don't want to see, what the fuck is he doing here? And it was one of my ex-friends that I hope I never see for the rest of my life. Just sitting like maybe like 2 seats away from me on the coaster. And I just spent the entire ride going, what the fuck are you doing here, huh? Huh? Why are you back here? Why are you in my field of vision? And then I just, yeah. And then there was another time where the shark just kind of looked like a really cheap graphic. Like, no, it looked like a cheap animatronic, like the shark in Jaws 4, because that movie didn't have a budget, and there's parts of the movie where you can see the propulsion system on the shark. Anyway, yeah, no, I've never had phobia dreams that fucking bad, and like, I don't know if to feel sorry for Chase or just call him a baby man. My feet crunched their way across the tarp back towards the tubs that I know are marked history. I stared at them for a second, remembering that 2 days ago the tubs had been turned to have their sides facing the entrance to the crawl space. I remember seeing them that way over Carl's shoulder right before I saw the tarantula. Now they're turned so that their ends are pointing to the front. From a prickling feeling on my neck doesn't feel good, especially with me being alone here. So I shoved that to the back of my mind and grabbed the end of the bottom tub so I can start digging it back towards the stairs. Sitting down, taking the lids off, I start sifting through the contents. Again, something isn't right. There are a few wrappers laying around amongst the artifacts, so someone had unwrapped a few trinkets before taking them. I wonder if Carl decided to take a few things. God knows why he would. I removed those wrappers, 3 in all, and set them to start before digging further in. This particular tub has a divider in it. As I started unwrapping things, I realized that one side is for the harder artifacts like keys or knitting needles. The other is mostly paper items like photos and documents. On the paper side, I see a thick folder labeled Biography of James Hendricks. My eyes widen. Now that could come in handy. This or a book or... As I open it up, I find a bunch of loose papers inside. While it's clearly copy paper, it's old enough in its own right. I move back down to the tarp so I can start spreading the documents out, not wanting to lose anything. Breathing heavily at this point, hardly believing my luck. There are hundreds of pages, and I hardly know where to start. After a while, I begin to deduce that this is someone's been trying to write a book on James Hendricks. From what I can tell, it was Carl's mother, Trisha. Some of the documents are typed out on a typewriter, so this might have been started as far back as the 80s. was just in the 80s borough. It was interesting. Getting married, having kids, and running a company probably slowed things down just a little bit. I grin. Well, let's see. Well, it's too bad that this might never see publication. Carl's mom has no idea how much she saved my ass. On top of that, she's got it all organized. One divider indicates Jim Hendricks, while the other marks Emma Hendricks, who I assume is James' wife. Let's see. A few of them are filled with several names. Let me know if you see like a smoke room name. Blanc.
Yeah.
Okay. Ellen Smith. Oh, John Begay. Oh wait, the Begays. Wait, that's Jenna. Her family.
Jenna's family, yeah.
Christopher Leeway. Finally, the last section of the binder is filled with dividers and indicating dates: 1825 to 1852, 1852 to 1875, so on and so forth. I start with my fingers shaking a bit as the excitement I start poring over Trish's meticulous timeline, using my phone to take notes. Alright. James was born in 1825 to an immigrant family from Ayr? Let's say Ayr. The family faced oppressive prejudice from the day they arrived in the country. Despite this, they managed to make a living with James' father becoming a plumber. A profession that mainly dealt with lead. His father, Martin, was abusive, even more so than was acceptable for the time, and James suffered greatly for it.
Apparently Irish for Ireland.
Oh, okay. They super white. Let's see, they're coded. The mysterious death of his 5-year-old sister, Martha, led many of the townspeople to suspect murder on the father's part, but this was never proven. James left home at the age of 15. He told his remaining sibling, Jane, that if he were able, he'd find a place for both of them to stay and escape their father. Not much known is about Jem Hendricks between 1840 and 1849, with Tricia assuming that he simply just hopped around the tri-state area. What is known is that James set out west in 1850 during the gold rush. Luck struck quick with James finding gold in a quartz deposit in 1852. The first person James confided in about the find was his only friend, John Begay. John was a native desert fox and would go on to become James's business partner. This comes as a bit of surprise due to John's many recorded instances of prejudice against the natives. Really? John's help, James officially laid claim to the mine before turning it into a business. While Echo was originally a small camp of less than 20 people, it became a mini boomtown. Over 2,000 people arrived within the next 3 years. Things went well for James after that. He became rich, built a mansion in Echo, and lived off the mine's seemingly endless flow of gold. He sent Jane, who was married with a large family at that point, a yearly sum of money. Meanwhile, no money was sent to his parents, who were living in deep poverty. Gee, I wonder why. He married Emma, a girl half his age, in 1860. They had 5 children: James, Thomas, Genevieve, Carol, and Martha. Things changed for James in 1875, though, when he was accused of sodomy with John Begay. And became lawless at the time. John Begay was hanged by the law. Oh no!
Jeez.
James was never convicted of the crime, likely because of strong influence in the town. However, the ostracism grew to be too much, and in 1878, he left his family to live in solitude on the west coast. He quietly stated a moderately successful ice cream business in the 1880s. It didn't grow into the regional juggernaut it is today until it was taken over by his grandson, Peter. He died there in his villa in 1891 from an unusual insect bite. Oh boy. They really don't like spiders in this town. I rub my eyes.
I didn't say it was a spider.
No, but I don't know. I'm assuming it's a spider. Considering how much Chase hates them in the game, how the game
It'd be appropriate if it was.
Yeah, no, the game constantly reminds me about it too.
Echo is arachnophobic at you.
I take offense. Grab my eyes and check the time. 3 hours have passed already, and it's late in the afternoon. Apparently, Garl's game is so good he hasn't even bothered to come down to check on me. We're starting to gather up a few of the items, a pocket watch, what looks like a nugget of gold, and what I think is a stamp with a crest on it. Need to take pictures outside considering how dim it is in here. I lay the items down on the adobe sidewalk that leads up to Carl's house, deciding that will make a suitable background, and I start taking pictures. You could have got like a white piece of paper, Chase. After hours,
Maybe, I mean, yeah.
you could have asked Carl. I'm sure they have everything in this mansion. There's got to be a photocopier somewhere.
Why wouldn't you just do it on a table in the house? I feel like that would have been well lit enough, but you know, whatever.
Hours after the discovery of the binder, I'm still relieved. I was really starting to worry with how little time I had left, but Trish's research saved me hours of time. In fact, she pretty much laid everything out for me. And then I jump out of my skin and spin around, still clutching my camera. Behind me, I can see the window still rattling from the force of whatever had knocked it. The basement window and a window well, though I can't see anything through it, it's too dark. I stared at it for a while, frowning. What the fuck was Carl doing? Did he go back downstairs in time to see me through the window and decide to scare me? I slowly gather the artifacts back up and place them in my bag, keeping an eye on the window as I do. If he wanted to pull that shit, then I could play that game too. The only problem is that Carl isn't in the basement. From what I can gather, it was the window next to the crawl space that was hit. Looking out, I can see the spot where I must have been standing. Chills return and I shiver as I move back to the crawl space. It had to have been Carl, though I don't get why he wouldn't have stayed down here until I came back. Gather everything back up and start to place them back into the tub in the same order I'd taken them out. That's when I noticed something. At the very bottom of the plastic baggie has been opened and its contents spilled out. I set down the binder which I had been about to put away and reach in, sifting through the spilled papers. The newspaper clippings from the town of Peyton. They're incredibly old. I can't imagine this is the best way to preserve them. Either way, the fashion in which they're carelessly spread out the bottom of the tub makes me wince. I don't remember leaving it this way, and it makes me feel sick that I could have damaged any of it. Slowly I push all the clippings back into the baggie, be sure to seal it right after I do. But I could see nothing's visibly damaged. I side putting everything back in the tub and shutting it with the lid, making sure it's sealed tight. It's a shame that it's been so difficult for Carl's family to set up a museum. From the looks of it, some of this stuff isn't going to last much longer without proper preservation. Finally, I drag the tubs back and subconsciously take note of exactly how I left them before heading back upstairs. When I get upstairs, though, Carl is asleep.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yeah. You gonna start sleepwalking in broad daylight?
Well, what do we think the thud of the window was?
Yeah, if he was asleep the entire time.
His controller is still above his head, clutched in his paws, as if he had fallen asleep the moment I'd left. On the screen, his character is immobile, standing in the middle of some hut. And on the PC stands in front of him, rocking back and forth. Every now and then it stops in front of him, claiming, "What are you doing in my hut?" I reach out and place upon his shoulder, and he immediately opens his eyes, snorting loudly. He sits up and rubs his eyes, snorting again as if he breathes deep. Did you go downstairs? Huh? What happened? It's almost funny how utterly confused he looks. As if he's acting, if his acting is doing a damn... Oh, wait, yeah, no. If his okay. It's almost funny how utterly confused he looks.
Gordon, words!
Sorry. If he's acting, he's doing a damn good job of it. There's some noises downstairs. I thought it was you. No, I don't think so. Things were moved around, too. Takes a deep breath before blowing it out. Oh, man, this place is haunted. I wasn't joking. Both look at each other for a moment. Finally, Carl breaks the awkward silence. How'd it go, aside from the ghost? Went alright. There's 3 hours and a bunch of research. He looks at me wearily. Oh shit, seriously? I was gonna come down after a while. I just Fell asleep, yeah. Anyway, we were supposed to go out today. Really? Yeah, remember you said a few days ago? Carl looks around. What did you want to do? I think. You have an interview tomorrow? Don't remind me. Carl picks up his controller again and I frown. Well, I was thinking we could go out and maybe give you a new look. Carl frowns, kicking away at the controller. Like what? Oh god, I'm sorry. He's so depressed right now. And I've been there. I went through a phase in my life where I was super depressed and job searching, and I had very little to no job interview experience. It wasn't until like I cracked and looked up some stuff online to better help, and it worked. But yeah, no, this state of mind he's in right now is not a good one, and especially if you're looking for a job. Well, your clothes for one. Do you have any dress clothes? You don't? Seriously? Have you ever had an interview before? Oh, yeah, since I've grown out of them. Well, we'll definitely need to get you some of those. Look at his beard, though. Maybe you should give you give you a more clean cut look? I wasn't say anything, instead goes frowning. I put a paw down on the controller, forcing him to pause. Come on, it could be fun. You can't stay in this house, in this room forever. He does look at me, then his expression kind of sad. What's wrong? Carl looks away and then stands up slowly, his joints popping. Nothing. If it makes you happy, then why not? No, you should be doing it for yourself, goddammit! Great. Just so you know, I'd rather play some video games with you. It's tempting. Just watching Carl play is a lot of fun with his style and commentary, but this is more important. I really want to help him out. Maybe later tonight. Let's get this done first. Apparently, your great-great-great-grandfather was accused of sodomy. What? Carl looks up from his phone, his muzzle wrinkling. Yep, but John Begay, who I'm almost positive is related to Jenna, but I'll have to ask her. Serious? How did you find that out? He pauses. Maybe don't ask Jenna about that. From what I can tell, your mom is trying to write a book. Carl strokes his beard. Yeah, she is, isn't she? Well, was more like. I don't think she worked on it in years. I don't think she's worked on it in years. From the looks of it, she stated it in college. Yeah, well, I do remember her saying it stressed her out a lot. Or something happened to make her stop? Carl seems to be thinking. Actually, I think I remember her talking to my dad about how those old things freaked her out or something. He shrugs. But we've always said the house is haunted. Carl's phone starts buzzing. And speaking of Jenna, she's calling me. Carl looks a bit perturbed, but he puts on a cheerful voice as he answers it. Yo, whale ears! That's actually a really cute nickname for a fennec. I like that. Oh, that old name. As he listens to her response, his smile slowly slides off his face. I can hear sharp muffled tones of Jenna's voice even though he's holding the phone on the other side of his face. I guess she cuts him off because he doesn't finish. I glare. Here, let me talk to her. The way Jenna acted yesterday, which isn't like her at all, is giving me a pretty good idea of what she's going off about right now. Carl doesn't give me the phone though, instead just staring out the windshield as we continue the highway. Finally, he lowered the phone from his ear and then stares at the screen for a while. She hung up? Yeah. Said something about how Leo's depressed now and how us hanging out by ourselves isn't helping things. I don't think that's our responsibility, though.
Not really, no.
No. God, after all the new information you gave me about her, I'm just... Anyway.
Jenna ain't perfect. No one is in this cast.
No. I roll my eyes. You know what? Fuck Jenna. She's been on one since Leo's day didn't go the way he wanted it to. For some reason, she just wants to blame you. Yeah. Carl looks out his window, so I can't really gauge the mood he's in. Listen, let's get something to eat first. I'll buy. No, my parents are rich. I'll pay. Can't exactly argue with that, so I don't.
God.
I also don't feel like I can leave it at that, so hesitantly I reach out for a paw and place it on Carl's shoulder. Seriously, let's have fun today, okay? Forget Jenna. It's really weird seeing Chase be so fucking supportive right now.
Yeah.
This is
very different from.
Yeah, no. This feels weird. This isn't. This makes
This
me.
is well-adjusted Chase right now.
I mean, yeah, and also it's kind of understandable considering what mental state he would be in hanging around with Leo.
Mm-hmm.
I guess since he's not, like, he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine, Chase. I just want to get this over with so we can go back and play some games. I sigh. Is that how you think about these days? Hey, lots of people play games for a living. Name one. Rob Lowe? That's a sport. Still a game. I grin as I mean, what was... This game takes place in 2015? There were lots of Let's Players and gaming content creators out there. I grin as I hear that jokey playfulness back in his voice. Glad I'm able to take his mind off Jano for the moment. Well, at least that keeps them active. Playing games all day with you will get unhealthy. Bat, you notice I'm already there. You're not that bad, I swear. You're mostly muscle. I guess I got nothing to worry about. But you should get out more. I've got entire worlds in my game. I don't know. What about girls? They're in games too. Well, you can't exactly touch a boob with your actual paw in a game. Oh no, I swear they've got those in anime land. You know what I mean. Already done it. Not that great. You a queer or something? I say with a southern accent.
God, I love that.
Oh god, fucking. I'm holding down the gray switch. So, when we were playing Burroughs, the protagonist in that game is a possum named Gray, and Gray's from Louisiana. He doesn't have a Cajun accent, but like he does have a southern accent, and you know, obviously, I'm gonna read him with a southern accent. But the thing is if I stay in like that for too long, I get stuck there for a little bit. So seeing this and seeing that, I'm just like, no, keep the switch down.
The one changes and you get stuck there.
No. Let's just say I don't label my sexuality. You're a God. This makes me. I have a friend like this, and it's frustrating because it doesn't feel like they do it because labels bad or anything. It feels like they do it because they haven't fully accepted their queerness, and it just feels like they're continuing to ignore it by being like, oh, I just don't want to be labeled. Oh, I'm just sexually fluid, and it's like that's still a label.
Yeah.
I let that sit for a second. That's a pretty queer thing to say. Guess I'm pretty queer. Guess I'm a pretty queer dude then. That's so. Besides, until I'm able to see my hooves again, I don't think any girls are gonna be after me. Oh, I don't know, man. I've actually know. It's funny. I actually know a few lady artists that exclusively draw super muscly dudes, and also with bellies.
Okay.
Well, that's what we're doing right now. I'm trying to give you a new look, a fresh start. It'll boost your confidence and your appeal. And you'll have girls and boys after you. And girls act very enthused about that. Tell myself it's only because he has to go out. Once we get there, I'm sure he'll cheer up. The fuck are we doing back here? I swear every store in Peyton Mall is dark and covered in neon. All stands are awkward looking around as if unsure about what to do. So what kind of look do you want to go for? Oh boy. I understand we're trying to get him to think about himself, but he's not fucking doing it. Carl looks at me like I'm crazy. Seriously, dude? I have no idea. You brought me here. Just work with this for the next hour, and I promise we can go to the game store next. Oh my god. I used to be like this. Carl makes a big show of sighing, but I assume the twitch in his ears indicates he'd like that a lot. Well, it's just dress clothes, so it shouldn't be that big deal. Then why the fuck are we at the Spencer's again? Carl's getting all insecure the way he did during the surprise birthday party. It's kind of cute. Carl? Chase? The voice comes from behind me. It's a new side character.
Yeah, oh, here we go.
The voice comes behind me and Carl smiles over my shoulder before I turn around. Raven? Oh my god, it's the emo wolf. I don't know how to feel about this hair.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, it was 2015. This hairstyle was everywhere. At least it's not.
Did you want me to read him, or?
Yeah, you read him, because I'm gonna get tired reading Jason Carl. I'm just like, because it's just short of being a beaver bowl, but I can tell he's supposed to be like emo. The black and white two-tone husky is a few feet behind me, grinning.
How long has it been?
Too long, man. What are you doing here?
Family moved back after Dad got fired. Now I work here. I could ask the same about you, Chase.
Oh, just on spring break right now. You work in a clothing store now? Raven laughed.
No, I'm a store down. I work at Game Central.
Carl perks up at that.
So you're still in school, huh? Well, it's great to see you.
Raven's accent is only slightly detectable now. The only noticeably foreign thing about him being his name.
So, what are you guys doing here? Getting close?
Do you know what kind of accent he's supposed to have? Just out of curiosity.
I have no clue. I'm gonna be quite honest.
Yeah, for Carl, actually. He has an interview tomorrow. For some reason, Carl ducks his head at the end of through his ears. I can see him blush deeply.
Oh, really? It's about time.
I mean, I have had a job before.
So what kind of look you going for?
Carl doesn't answer, I speak up. That's what we're trying to figure out just now, actually. Oh, he's got green eyes, actually really nice. It's a nice focal point given all the neutral tones he has.
Yeah.
Colors, I mean. Carl shrinks further into himself, his hat seeming to fall over his eyes. Dude, it's just dress clothes, really.
Well, I think you should get a red tie at least. Might go good with your eyes. And maybe trim that beard.
When are you a fashionista? Come on, Carl. Let's at least try it out. Carl sighs, rubbing his forehead. Okay, fine, but only as long as we're out of here in the next hour.
Hey, I gotta get back to work. But I'll be free in about an hour. Let's catch up.
I wave at Raven and turn to Carl. Well, that was nice. I think I'd ever see him again. Either, actually. I'll have to hang out with him more. I mean, I like Flynn, but having to put up with him just to get a ride to the store isn't always worth it. Anyway, if you're wanting to get out of here in an hour, then we should probably get started. The process is a lot less painful than Carl makes it out to be. Soon enough, we're on our way to the food court, Carl carrying a bag way too big for the contents inside. We meet Raven again, and once we get our food, he suggests we eat outside. I look at my full combo meal, oh wait, what? I look at my full combo meal to Carl's small, tiny container of tater tots. You're not hungry? Carl just shrugs and grins at me. Don't know the ways of the fatty. We're judged all the time, especially when we're eating. I think my mother has this insecurity.
Yeah, you told me all about it before.
Yeah. He delicately bites a tater tot in half before adopting a sarcastic tone. Ew, gross. Of course he's eating. I see it's kind of unfair. See, Raven thinks so too. The husky's in the middle of the huge bite of his Subway sandwich. Eyes Carl and he swallows before speaking.
I can see that you're self-deprecating as ever.
You know,
look at how it is.
So, Chase, are you still doing that wolf, Leon?
Ah! Leo, and no. I ignore the side glance I get from Carl.
Sorry about that. You two were really cute together.
Don't say that.
Hard, yeah, no, please. Don't say that.
No, don't start it again. No.
It's hard to know what to say when people comment on your relationship. If someone isn't homophobic, gay relations are usually cute or adorable.
Yeah, yeah.
Flashbacks to every fucking yaoi doujinshi I've ever read written by a woman. A straight woman. Or maybe it was just the size difference. Okay,
Now they're calling you out.
Nah,
They're
they're
calling
calling,
you the
me
fuck
out.
out.
Fuck.
But seriously, I've always wanted to date an otter.
Aw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're adorable.
Oh, boy. Swimming clowns. Do tell. Everyone picks up on my sarcastic tone right away, but it doesn't seem to faze them.
Well, yeah, you know what they say about otters and blowjobs.
Oh, my God.
What did they say?
Carl almost chokes on his last tater type. Oh, Raven, you barely know him and you saying that shit? Carl's laughing, though. I'm sure to keep my face passive. Oh, what do they say about otters and blowjobs? Raven laughs.
You know, they never have to come up for air. 10 minutes
Oh
nonstop.
my God. Raven giggles and makes a visible effort to keep a straight face.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. It's just one of those jokes I always hear. Sorry.
You can imagine I do too, and it's 8 minutes by the way.
I take that too.
Carl crumbles up a straw wrapper and flicks it off Raven's bluish-looking nose, to which he simply smiles. Carl stands up. I'm going to the bathroom. Raven, don't be a dick.
I'm not.
So let Carl amble off before Raven turns back to me, that dopey smile back on his face.
So, how long are you gonna be here, Chase? We need to catch up.
I wonder what catching up means when your biggest interaction up to this point was dissecting shark in high school biology. Sunday, school starts up again on Monday. Despite having a head start on the project thanks to Carl's mom, I still get a nervous twinge in my stomach. I have a lot left to do. Voiceovers, B-rolls, and oh god, editing.
You should hang out.
His adorable excitement is barely contained, and I'm pretty sure I can hear the thumping of his tail against the curb we're sitting on. Oh god, all canines is the same. Despite my earlier offense at his stereotyping of otters, I'm reminded how much worse dogs get. Oh shit, pull me out again. They're not common in Echo, or this side of the world for that matter. While otters are thought of as entertainers, I feel like it's better than dealing with being seen as a simpleton. So the main reason I'm here is to do a news segment on Echo for class.
Ooh, is it gonna be on TV?
I laugh. No, I mean, maybe I could get it into rotation on the college TV station, but otherwise no.
Well, that's still pretty cool.
But my point is that it's kind of boring.
What? Is it just a bunch of writing, or?
Hold on. Accidentally mouse wheeled. Mostly going through old stuff. Carl's family saved a bunch of artifacts from the old days.
Whoa, so you're like actually touching the old stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird way of putting it, but yeah.
That sounds awesome.
His outgoing nature is kind of infectious. I smile. Are we gonna wind up with this guy?
I know, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, is the side character like, is it gonna be a kudzu situation?
I can tell you, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Nah,
so.
fine.
Of course you could.
We're on stream, we're streaming this, so yeah, no spoilers. Well, if you're really interested, I wouldn't mind having some help.
That's great. I have the next 2 days off.
Oh, that actually sounds nice. Oh, we'll ask Carl when he gets back. It takes a while for the Rem to return, but when he does, he seems a bit reluctant to agree with the idea, which kind of surprises me. But eventually, we convince him, and we make plans for Raven to come over the next day. As we're heading back to the car, I nudge Carl, forcing him into a slight stumble. Oh no, this song's playing. Not that it means something bad, but it's just like, we're about to get emotionally vulnerable with Carl, aren't we? What's wrong, buddy? What's up?
Speak to us.
What do you mean? I try to keep my tone light. You seem a bit down. Actually, you have all day. Carl shrugs. Nudge him again and he giggles. Oh no, it's just awkward coming out here and having you two just examine me like that. Oh, yeah? Yeah, dude, it just feels kind of weird is all. I stay silent for a moment, wondering if I had made the right decision doing all this. I'm just trying to help out, you know? I know, bro, it's cool. Seriously, I've been thinking... Oh no. Your main problem is worrying about going out in public, like a social anxiety. Oh, now you're sounding like Jenna. Gets in my car and he smiles at me over the roof while I unlock the door. I feel like we can break through that. It'll help you out a bunch. I break eye contact as we both slide into our respective seats. And I think this job is a huge part of that, so I really want you to get it. So I lean to the side to pull out my seatbelt. I feel something soft and warm press my... What? Really? Only lasts for seconds, but then it's gone. Look over and Carl's looking out the window. You just kiss me? Yeah, bro. Are you high? No, I mean, maybe? He giggles. So yes. Suddenly I pull out the parking space. If he hadn't made a move on me last night, I might have been a little more shocked. Where the hell did he get high anyway? Alley behind the mall. Charming. I'm pretty sure I've got a few needles stuck in my hooves. We drive in the silence for a while, Carl looking out at the desert scenery while I squint out the windshield trying to see through the hazy orange sunset. I did mean that, by the way. But, just thanks. Sure. I don't know what else to say, so I'll leave it at that, and we drive along in pleasant silence. Carl still seems a little sad, and I can't pinpoint why. I'm hoping that it's just a phase. That by the time this interview is over, he'll be able to get past his anxiety and finally be done feeling like a failure at everything. That's not exactly how it works, though.
It's not that fast.
Yeah.
From personal experience,
Yeah, personal experience, too.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed.
Uh-oh.
Nothing's
oh
happening.
boy.
Oh, boy, here we go. Let me know if I could voice mod, because I was tired of getting a voice mod blocked on Leo's route. I wake up to
I don't think so. I don't think you need it.
Oh boy, here we go again. I wake up feeling of a familiar numbing heaviness in my body. Sleep paralysis again. I try to move, taking what feels like a massive weight on my arms and legs, but all I can manage is to wiggle my fingers. It feels like someone's pressing down on my chest, trying to suffocate me. And something's in the room with me. Is it another spider? I can't help myself. I open my eyes. The blood red glow fills Carl's room as if from a nightlight covered in blood. The sight would have made me whimper if I was able to make any kind of sound. My eyes flick around the room. It looks strangely empty, a lot more empty than I remember. As if Carl is in the middle of a move and he packed up all his toys and decorations. In fact, the only thing I recognize in his room is the bed and the blankets tossed back and empty. I'm alone. Ah, what the fuck was that? I hear a chuckle right next to my ear, and it's straight out of a horror movie. Whatever it is, it's right out of my line of sight. If it's a fucking spider, I'm gonna be so upset at Chase. It's like, what? You think we're fucking scary-ass clowns with the comparison you make to your people? Ah, what the fuck? Whatever it is, it's right out of my line of sight, and I can't turn my head to see what it is. My heartbeat picks up, and I decide to close my eyes, knowing that nothing good will come out of opening them. It breathes heavily in my ear for a while, then stops. The weight lifts off my body, and I feel its presence leave. I sit up, my eyes open again with a sigh of relief. Then I realize the room is still empty, and so is Carl's bed. Something yanks me out of the bed, and suddenly I'm being pulled to my feet down the hallway, down the stairs, down the basement, towards the crawl space, into darkness. Gray legs crawl over my body, and pin and pricks pierce every inch of my flesh. If anything to be able to scream right now. I gasp and jolt out of the paralysis. I wait a good 10 seconds before I'm convinced that I'm really out of it. Carl snoring loudly in his bed, one arm dangling over the side while his belly rises and falls. I sit up and rub my face, wondering how the hell I'm gonna get back to sleep after that. Oh, it's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday. Saturday, Sunday. What?
Hey, is this useful?
I look over at Raven as he holds up what looks like a porcelain canine doll of some kind. Maybe again, just set aside stuff you think might be interesting enough for me to take pictures of.
Okay.
He puts it to the side and starts digging through the tub rather carelessly again. I sigh and turn back to the binder. I really wish Carl had agreed to come down. Again, he declined to help me even after Raven arrived. But I guess I have my answer as to why. More stuff is missing from the tubs, and I know it can't be anyone else except Carl. The containers were turned to the opposite way when I got down to the crawl space earlier this morning. Wait, it's Friday. Okay, we're getting closer to the end of the week, which means that things are gonna have to fucking explode into horror at some point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think this has to be the chapter it happens.
Mm.
On top of that, there were 2 more loose wrappers in the tub, along with. I traced my paw up the torn edges of a missing page in the John Begay section. Question, of course, is why would he be doing this? There's absolutely no reason for it. And the bizarreness of the situation makes it pretty much impossible for me to confront him on it. It's his house, after all, though. If he didn't want me going through it, why would he have shown it to me in the first place? He isn't trying to cover his tracks. In fact, I practically caught him the act a few nights ago. He must know that I'd be able to put that together pretty quick. I closed the binder, deciding that this will be the last time I'm going to go through this stuff. He doesn't want me digging up info on his family history, then I'm not going to pry any further.
Hey, look at this.
Even holds up a wooden train.
I bet this was probably the shit back in the day.
I sigh. Probably. My phone buzzes. I take it out. My notification's telling me a text from Leo. Oh boy.
Oh no! Not don't go to the diner on this day of days.
Ah. For a moment, I feel a pang of guilt. He told me how excited he was to hang out with me this week. Yet I've spent almost all my time here with Carl. Though from what I've gathered in text, Leo's been spending most of his time with TG and Jenna since the link is apparently still feeling down. At least he had that to keep him occupied. My excuse that Carl has all the info I need for my project made my decisions to spend most of my time here a little less weird. Simon, what do you mean by just me? Hey, Rave, I'm gonna go meet with some friends. Could you keep Carl company?
Okay, sure.
He seems busy pushing the train across the ground while attaching more cars. Make sure you keep that together. I want to get a picture of it later. Now, oh boy. I sigh and
You
put my
can see
phone away.
Chase's reflection when at the phone.
Yeah.
When he puts it down, oh, you might not get the animation again.
Yeah. Oh, just barely.
Yeah, you can just get a glimpse of it
before the monitor. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, it'd be pretty creepy if they had an Easter egg in that, where it's just like the black voids in his eyes or something.
Oh, we've seen the other Chase already.
Yeah, the embrace. God, I fucking hate that thing. Ugh.
Yeah, Leo's timeline, yeah.
That thing really creeps me out, though, and I said, I kind of pick, because it's just like, why the fuck does this scare me? It just looks like someone got a default Photoshop brush and just drew over Chase's face with it, which
because you know who it's supposed to be, but it's not then.
It's not. No, I looked it up on after Leo's route. That thing was apparently a manifestation of Leo's feelings for Chase.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually it's called a tulpa, apparently, but I don't know much about it, and I couldn't really find much information about it that wasn't like, what if they are real and whatnot. And it's just like, I just want to look up some folk tales and myths about this thing's origins. I don't want to go into a website made by a bunch of people that believe these things are real. And that they can be tamed and controlled.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I sigh and put my phone away, patting my pocket for my keys as I head up the crawl space. Why are we here?
Oh no!
I know, but also
Is this the day? I'm pretty sure this is the day.
No, yeah, because we spent all Saturday being kidnapped, and then Sunday rolled around was when we escaped.
Yeah.
Leo waves at me as I walk into the diner. I'm surprised to see that the diner is completely empty. There's almost always someone in here. Something is amiss too, and I don't notice until I've sat down across from the wolf. It's eerily quiet. The usual rockabilly tracks aren't playing. Is this just... Did they just reuse that scene for this part, it feels like? Hey man, what's up? That atmosphere is unreasonably awkward, and I blame most of that on the strange state of the diner.
So apparently we have to go up to the counter to order. Janice isn't here.
Oh, why's that? Leo shrugs as he sips on a milkshake.
Don't know. Sick, I guess.
It's then that I remember the story Flynn had told us about Janice and her incident. So I'm not gonna bring that up because I'm sure that's what Leo is thinking as well. Well, I'm not really hungry anyway. What was it you wanted to talk about? Leo swallows slowly and looks at the table.
So you probably know this whole thing didn't go as I planned.
Look at the collection of condensation on his glass before I speak up. Yeah, sort of. Being friends as if he'd hoped I would have tried to deny it.
Well, it's mostly my fault. I should have done a better job at resolving shit.
I frown. Hey. Until he takes his eyes off the table to look at me. You know, you're not our big brother anymore. Looks back down at the table. We're adults, believe it or not. We make our own decisions now. Everything we're doing right now is our decisions. Our fault, not yours. His eyes get shiny, but he smiles.
Yeah, you're right. Guess I just want to go back is all.
Hey, we're still young. Talking like my grandpa. He laughs and leans back.
Mine too.
He jerks his head as if he just remembered something.
So what the hell happened between Jenna and Carl?
Oh, wait, yeah, no. I was actually hoping you could have told me that. I have no idea.
She keeps going on about him, not participating. I told her it was fine, and she can't seem to let it go.
Yeah, well, it's really weighing on Carl, I think. Takes his milkshake foregoing the straw. Wraps away the cream from his mouth as he brings it back down to the table with some resolve.
Well, I'm not letting it end like this.
Hmm? Let what end like this?
Our group.
Uh-oh. What, are you trying to remember what song this was? I forgot the name. You realize
this might be the last time we're all together.
That sentence immediately forms a lump in my throat. Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna let it end like this. Glenn pissed at TJ, Jenna pissed at Carl, you and me.
That's that hang, and I don't say anything. He coughs.
So, I planned something.
Oh, again. This went well the last time, Leo.
What? His hesitant tone is making me nervous. I mean, the iron squares his shoulders.
We're going to the lake tomorrow.
Oh? Let's that sink in as I turn his words over in my head. Turn his words over in my head. I suspected that this was what he was getting at. I considered my words from it, not wanting to say the wrong thing. I don't know if that's... puts up a paw.
I've thought this over real hard, Chase. That day, what happened to Sydney, it fucked us all up. Changed us all. Not for the better either. It took something from us.
Leo pauses, looking to the side as if searching for words.
Glenn, Sydney was his best friend. And Carl, he's been depressed ever since.
I feel like I need to speak up. I don't know if you could pin all that on what happened. Maybe it would have turned out the same? He presses on.
DJ, he saw Sydney die, saw him drown. Can you imagine that at 8 years old? And Jenna, has she ever been happy since?
Freaking Herbert. I shake my head. I always felt like that experience helped her in a weird way. She decided to go to school, leave Echo. He doesn't seem to be listening to me.
And you, I love you, but you did change that day. It happened. You're practically a different person.
Sorry, I'm not mad that he's bringing that up. I'm upset at the new information I got about fucking Jenna.
Yeah.
No
Nobody's perfect
context.
in this
I have
bitch.
no context.
No one is safe.
I don't have anything to say to that.
And me,
His voice catches in his throat, and I close my eyes. Leo?
I was supposed to be watching all of you. I was supposed to take care of...
Leo stops talking, and I keep my eyes on the table while He grabs one of the brown napkins and wipes his eyes. Oh, God. When he speaks again, his voice is thick and cracks with emotion. You know,
His
this...
parents never said, but they trusted you with Sydney. And I think they blamed me.
You know what? I'm glad we're
Your
talking
phone is
about it.
going off.
That's mine. I need to...
Mute it, maybe?
Yeah, no, I'm going to. There we go. Because this is what I wanted. I want them to fucking talk about it.
Yeah, you're getting what you wanted.
No, yeah, no, I still think this is a good thing. No, Leo. He falls silent. Well, we both sit here and share the feeling of being weighed down by 11 years of baggage. Then 5 minutes goes by, Leo staring out the window. The afternoon sun turns his normally red fur almost orange.
We can't do this anymore. And this might be our last chance to find some kind of closure.
Take a deep breath, swallowing past the lump. Okay. He looks at me, relief all over his face.
So you'll go?
I smile reassuringly at him. Of course. Have you told anyone else? He lowers his ears. No. Oh. God, are you going to tell them?
I don't know.
Leo. This is signature shrug, paws out.
I really don't know how else to get them to go.
There's no way this isn't going to be a disaster.
Hey, we gotta try.
I guess?
So can you bring Carl with you?
Oh, God. I think for a moment. Oh, shit, Carl has an interview.
What time?
10, I think.
Well, we'll plan around it. Text me the actual time, okay? Anyway, I invited you out here to talk about more than shitty stuff.
Uh-huh.
What have you been up to in the past 3 years?
Oh, boy. I don't like... God, and this song's playing. God! So we talk the next 2 hours catching up on everything. It feels good. I regret not spending more time with Leo this past week. As we part on the small parking lot.
If only you knew.
As we part, yeah, he's depressed because all the shit he had planned to control the situations around Chase just ain't fucking happening.
Well, it's good because he's being better for it.
No,
We've
yeah,
seen
it
that.
is working. No, and we are. I'm getting the results I want. So we part in the small parking lot. Leo surprises me with a hug.
I have a good feeling about this. It'll be hard, but be better for it.
Even I am looking this with the sense of like, even I know he's being cautiously optimistic about this. I hug back, hoping with all my heart that he's right. God. Oh, that was actually a very short chapter.
Yep.
Saturday?
Saturday.
Oh boy. Oh shit, that's when the hysteria is supposed to kick in.
We about to go loud.
Hey, we're going to the lake, right, Gordon? This is what you wanted, right?
Oh no. Dudes, I just...
Be careful what you wish for.
Dudes, I just don't know about this. I peek into the bathroom watching as Carl stares at himself in the mirror, running his fingers through his hair. You look great. Oh, that's you. Raven says back, grinning with a trimmer in his paws, looking Carl up and down.
Tell him, Jace.
Carl looks at me, and I have to agree that he looks quite a bit better. Look fantastic. A lot cleaner. Thanks.
Now take a shower.
Before Carl can say anything, Raven shoves the mauled bag into Carl's chest before slamming the door in his face.
Man, this is gonna be great. If the interview was based on looks alone, he'd have that job locked.
Another
typing area.
I don't know if that's a typo or because apparently he has some sort of accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And so with that, we move to the living room and wait. Half an hour later, Carl shuffles in quietly. We don't even know he's there until he clears his throat. Oh god, he looks like Jack Black from School of Rock. Carl, why are the sleeves rolled up? Ah! So, does this look better? How does it look? Looks good, but I'm more concerned with the fact that he looks more insecure than I've ever seen him. He shifts from hoof to hoof, not making eye contact at all, but his fingers pulling at the rolled up sleeves. Oh my god, that looks... Oh, that's...
Oh my god, that looks terrific. You're fantastic. There's no way you won't get that job now.
He does look better with the clean beard. I can appreciate that. It sounds genuine enough, but then again, he's always excited. Carl looks over at me. I give a start realizing how bad my silence must have seemed. You look great, Carl. Yeah, you was looking him up and down, you fat fetishist.
But,
Raven chuckles and Carl's eyes widen. Right.
the beanie. Do you always wear that thing?
Carl lifts the paw to it. Usually.
You can't wear that. Or how do you even get it on?
It's stretchy, and my head fur looks awful.
Seriously, you can't wear a beanie to an interview.
Carl's getting all fidgety again, so I butt in. Blanc, help me out here.
I mean, I get the sense that all of this is making him
He's already
increasingly
insecure.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's already super insecure as it is. I'd say, like, let him wear it. He needs security in some way, shape, or fashion.
Because they're almost forcing him to be something that he isn't. Kind of a deal.
Yeah, hey, I actually think it looks kind of nice with everything else you've got on. Carl glances at me, but stops fidgeting with the beanie. Even looks at me, then back to Carl.
Well, alright.
Carl sighs and shifts around again. We watch him expectantly. Dude, this feels weird as all.
It's new. You'll get used to it.
Pull out my phone and look at the time. Alright, we really need to head out. We should get there early. We head to the door. Raven makes as if to follow us. I hate myself for forgetting to talk to him earlier. I turn around to face him as Carl heads out the door. Hey, Raven? He stops.
What's up?
After the interview, me and Carl and our other friends, we're gonna do something. Raven raises his eyebrows.
Oh?
Oh, it's not that we don't want you to come. I really wouldn't mind having his upbeat attitude present at what is surely be the biggest downer of the week. It's just, it's really personal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, seriously. You don't want to come. We're gonna be talking about some heavy shit. Ray seems to perk up a little at that.
Oh, well, I wouldn't want to intrude. I'll just hang out here then.
Yeah, we'll be back soon, okay?
Sounds good, but you have to tell me how the interview goes. I know he's gonna do amazing.
I will and he will. I'll see you in a few. I mean, I like to imagine that, like, you know, with how rich and business savvy his family has been and his mom, like he has to know some etiquette about you know, the job interview.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl looks confused as I come out of the car alone. Where's Raven? I sit down and make a show of buckling my seatbelt. I wanted to tell you this after the interview so you didn't have any more stress out over what? I pause and back out, pretending to be distracted so I can gather my thoughts. So, Leo wants us to meet up at the lake. The lake? The lake? Yeah. Why? Closure, he says. Carl stays quiet as we drive through Echo, and I swerve to avoid all of the potholes. As I'm merging onto the highway, he finally speaks up. I think that's a good idea. Like, we've been sitting on this for how long now? We should do it while we got the chance. I nod my agreement. I just hope everyone else feels the same. We fall back into silence, and it stays that way for the remaining 20-minute drive.
So, for clarification, we've left Raven in the haunted heist right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that just dawned on me.
Poor guy.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. I hope he's alright. He was kind of cute.
I can stand his hair. Carl gets more nervous the closer we get. That's the only thing. He's got that old emo cut, and it's just like, because
I really like the design motif when, like, a furry character has sort of colored hair, but then they make the ears the same color as the hair as well. I was kind of like
oh
that.
no, I like that too.
So the ears almost sort of become part of the hair.
Yeah, no, that's why I like floppy-eared rabbits. Wait, what? Carl gets more nervous the closer we get. I can see his knees bouncing out of the corner of my eye, and he stares out the window. I can't put a paw on his shoulder as we pull into the parking lot of the print shop. You look awesome, and you're gonna do amazing. Carl sits taking breaths, staring out the windshield. Just be yourself. Everyone loves a relaxed employee. No! No! I wish you'd let me have a smoke before we left. No, Carl, that would have been a fucking terrible idea. Yeah, go into your interview smelling like pot. Great idea. Carl giggles nervously, but otherwise doesn't move. Do you want me to go in with you? Carl shakes his head quickly, unbuckling his seatbelt as he opens the car door. Oh man, I'll be fine. Okay, cool. I'll be waiting. I grin at him, but he shuts the door and amples up the print shop. So this reminds me of the worst job interview I've ever had. It all happened because of several misunderstandings. I got a job at a restaurant at this I don't even know what the hell to call it. It was a hotel / golf course. Like, this was obviously a place for rich people. I was very nervous because I was afraid they were going to make me cook, and at that time I did not have all the experience needed. Hell, I still don't think I do, to make up something from scratch. And honestly, I thought it was kind of a stupid test, because it's just like, okay, you're testing me on my creativity. Why? I'm not making your food or making contributions to the menu. Why are we doing this? But the chef, who English was not his first language, told me just to make a steak, a fish, and a salad. That's all he told me to do. So I'm like, okay. So maybe he just wants to know he just wants some confirmation that I know the basics, that I can cook. So I give him what he asked for. And it wasn't until a day later, knowing from someone who had helped me get that interview, saying that I had actually done a terrible job. It's just like, well, you put everything on the same plate. I'm like, he asked for a fish, a steak, and a salad. And they're like, he was asking for courses. I'm like, why the fuck didn't he say steak course, fish course, and then a salad course? So yeah, no, that whole thing was just... I don't like that moment. It caused me also to have a fight with a friend that she still brings up to this day, which is fine, honestly. Because my behavior was, like, towards her about that was incredibly unfair. And, you know, she didn't make me go through with this. She wasn't the reason why I had that terrible misunderstanding with the kitchen manager. But, yeah, no, she gets a slide on bringing that up whenever. I grin at him, and he shuts the door and ambles up to the print shop. He pushes on the doors when they don't move. He pushes harder, shaking the glass. I start to open my door and tell him to pull instead, but he seems to figure it out, and I have to. Before I have to, and disappears instead. Oh, Carl. Then I sit back and wait. I tried to take a nap since I'd been... Oh, he was like, oh, Carl. Okay, anyway. I take a nap since I'd been up all night with Raven and Carl gaming, but the heat beating down through the windows becomes too unbearable. I turn the AC back on, then shuffle through the stations, but I only managed to find Twangy Country and Mariachi. I look at the time. 10 a.m. The interview started on time when he was probably almost done with it by now. I sort of want to go inside, but I know Carl wouldn't want me to. I settle back again and close my eyes, trying to get some relief from the failing AC. Then the door rattles, and I hear haphazard hoof steps. I open my eyes, but no one's there. I do catch some movement disappearing around the side of the store, and I learn oh no, did the hysteria hit as Carl was having his interview? Look, I
We're
wait,
in
but
Peyton. That doesn't affect Peyton.
oh, you're right, we are in Peyton.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
I
point.
wait, but Carl, or at least I think it's Carl, doesn't come back from around the corner. Looking around, I slowly open my door. Carl? Nothing. Carl! I yell at, but he still doesn't come out. Feeling some dread build up in my stomach, I get out of the car and slowly walk around the side of the building. It's an alley between the print shop and what I think is a laundromat. Nothing is in the alley except for a few dumpsters and clumps of garbage. I step carefully around the puddles covered in oil slick and wonder if maybe he just really wanted to smoke. Carl? Something ships on the side of one of the dumpsters, and I hear sniffling. Wordlessly, I walk around the dumpster side. Carl is bent over, his back to me. paws on his knees. His whole body is shaking. His breaths are ragged. Holy shit, Carl. I'm at his side instantly rubbing his back. What happened? Are you alright? The stench of vomit hits my nose, and I don't need to look closely to know what the puddle between Carl's hooves is. Carl makes sure to turn away from me, not saying a word. Shit. I dash back to the car to open my passenger's door and get to the glove box. I pull out a few napkins while hurrying back to the Ram. He takes them wordlessly and starts wiping his face. The last time I'd seen Carl like this was just last year when he had his panic attack at school. I didn't think he'd have that problem now after all the therapy and time away. I try rubbing him comfortably in a clockwise motion like his mom would do for me. He's at least not hyperventilating. His horns pressed against the wall, taking deep breaths as he wipes his face again. Why do I suck at everything? He says it quietly between gasps, but I can make it out. No, Carl, you're fine. Let's get you home. I start to pull on his arm, but he yanks it from me violently. Don't touch me. I'm stunned into silence. I just stare at him, mouth open. He glances at me, his eyes red, and for once, it's not because of weed. Carl starts off toward the car on his own, spitting off the side as he does. Carl, what happened? He whirls on me. I fucked up, obviously. Any more fucking questions? His voice breaks apart at the last sentence, and he turns away from me as his face starts to screw up. My stomach feels hollow as I watch Carl get into my car. I've never ever seen him like this. Immediately hunches forward, a head in his paws. I slowly walk up to the driver's side, feeling like crying myself. I sit for a while, waiting to see if Carl's feeling like... I feel... So slowly walk up to the door, feeling like crying myself. I sit for a while, waiting to see if Carl's going to say anything. He does. I'm sorry. Blurts it out through his fingers. I look over at him and scared to say anything in case I see the wrong thing. It was a disaster, man. Takes a deep shuddering breath. You could tell I wasn't into it right away. I was awkward as fuck. He leans back and tugs his shirt. This isn't me. They knew it and it got me nervous. I've been nervous since I got my clothes, since I cut this stupid trim. At that moment, it feels like I've been punched in the stomach. I'm just now remembering the conversation we had on Wednesday. I closed my eyes for a moment, not wanting to believe I'd become exactly what he said I wasn't. What he liked me for not being. I sit in silence for a long, long time until Carl finally looks at me and smiles. God damn it, we both knew this was gonna happen, didn't we? I don't know, man. Affect me very much for taking it out on you. It's sort of my fault. Nope. I'm not I'm the one that screwed up the interview. Carl settles back into his seat. With that fuck up out of the way. On to the next one. I force a smile. You sure you still want to go? Hell no, but I don't think we have much of a choice. I sigh, looking at the hazy horizon in the direction of where I know Echo is. Can't wait. So with that, I turn on the ignition and pull out of the parking lot, leaving the print shop for its alley far behind us. Okay, holy shit, everyone's actually there. Leo, TJ, Flynn, and Jenna are all gathered around the picnic table. It's set out neatly on concrete in front of the rocky shore of the lake. None of this existed when we were kids. In fact, it didn't exist when I left. Echo's trying really hard to stay alive. I don't need to get out of my car to gauge the mood. My friends are in, their shoulders slammed, faces turned away from each other. As I park, Leo's ears perk as he turns and waves at us. Take a deep breath and turn to Carl. You ready? Nope. Nevertheless, he opens up the door and steps out, and I do the same. Are any of them ready? The sun beats down on us, but being this close to the lake cools things down a bit. As we approach, I see Leo with his butt up against the edge of the table while TJ sits next to him. Jenna sits next to TJ while Flynn sits across from Jenna. When Flynn turns around, he immediately zeroes in on Carl.
What the hell happened to you?
Drugs, sex, and rock and roll. He looks even more like Jack Black now. What's that text box?
Out of order, bud.
No, I just put him in the appropriate descending order. Flynn rolls his eyes and looks at me.
Hey, fuckboy, maybe you can talk some fucking sense into this idiot?
Those ears are flat, but he doesn't look at Flynn.
Glad you guys could make it.
Sure. Sits down next to Flynn, and I sit on Carl's other side across from TJ. The silence that follows is possibly the most awkward one of the week. Flynn snickers.
See, this is stupid.
How about we let it happen naturally, Flynn, instead of using every moment to take shots at people? Jenna's tone is icy. She doesn't even acknowledge me or Carl. TJ meanwhile is keeping his head down, poking a sharp claw through the soft wood on the table. Then shrugs and starts doing his trademark "I don't give a fuck" lean back pose, but gives a start when he realizes there isn't any backing on the bench.
Well, we've been sitting here for the past 20 minutes and nothing's happened.
Maybe you want to start us off? Flynn sighs.
Well, we could talk about how I never agreed to this shit. How Leo's a complete fucking idiot for forcing this to happen, and that I wonder what he thought this would accomplish anyway.
That's a start, I guess. Flynn sets his jaw.
Of course, talk that would actually get us somewhere wouldn't be from me, but Henny's not talking.
The temperature seems to lower in the impossibly hot air, and I don't look at TJ and see how he reacts. In a brief silence, Leo speaks up.
How about we start with you, Flynn?
Flynn looks at Leo, brows raised.
How do you feel about what happened?
I see Flynn clench his jaw. Let it out, man.
What?
Just let it out. His tone sends shivers down my spine, and I feel Carl tense up next to me. Looking across the lake, the shimmering reflections blinding me.
You never talked about it. Maybe it'll help.
Sweat pours down the back of my neck, builds up under my arms. Even with the wind coming off the lake, it's way too hot.
By telling you how I fucking feel? How the fuck do you think I feel?
I don't know, man. Tell us. Just let it all out. Flynn screams it, and TJ jumps in front of me.
You're just gonna keep it buried your whole life, Carolo?
Think about the time I used to come down to this spot every day and skip rocks with Jenna and TJ.
So this is how you plan to fucking get us over this? By making fun of me. I'm like making fun of you. I'm trying to help you. Taunting someone who's felt like shit for a decade is a pretty weird way of helping. Please, guys. Don't you even fucking talk right now.
Are you gonna, like, fucking... Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't you dare talk to him like that. We all went through this.
Calm down, Flynn.
The table shakes as Flynn slams his fist down on the wood, snarling and standing up.
Tell me to calm down one more fucking.
Just shut the hell up. I stand up. Everyone turns to look at me, including Flynn. I don't say anything. Instead, I just strip off my shirt.
How are you doing?
I don't answer him. Instead, I take off my belt and slide off my pants so that I'm the only left in my boxers. Without a word, I head to the lake. It's about 100 yards from the tables to the lake. While most of the way there is sand, a good stretch of it is pointing rocks. I managed to make my way carefully over this section, remembering the numerous cuts I'd gotten as a kid. I don't look back until I'm right at the water's edge, and when I do, Leo's following me in the process of taking off his own shirt. The rest of them are still sitting off the table, but I don't care because this is really just for me. I step into the water and sigh at how cool it is before I wade out further. Once I'm waist deep, I dive under the water and pop up several feet further away from shore. I'm neck deep at this point. When I look back, I can see Carl now standing at the lake's edge, paws deep in his pockets. Behind him, Jenna's helping TJ cross the rocks. Only Flynn remains at the table watching us all. Leo's up to his chest at this point, and I swim in a circle around him before diving under, then popping right in front of him.
Yeah, sneaky otter.
He splashes water in my face and I cough. Don't be that way. I swim around some more and laugh at how he flounders after me. He was always a terrible swimmer. I dive under the water again and swim up toward the shore, popping about 10 feet away from Carl. Having fun? He's smiling, looking a lot more relaxed than he has all day, probably because we just avoided a situation that could have gotten really ugly. To my left, Jen and TJ are sitting on the boulder of the shallows. TJ's slacks rolled up to his knees. Him and Jenna seem to be talking, so I decide not to play the same trick on them as I did with Leo. Then we're all standing up now, arms folded. For the next little while, swim around, occasionally popping up in front of Carl or Leo, sometimes splashing them with my tail. There's a freeing feeling about finally swimming in this lake again and having so much space. Then after a good 20 minutes comes out to shore, he leans against an old familiar boulder watching us. There's no way for me to know if how they're all feeling. It's liberating like it is for me. Glenn is right in a way. We can't just talk about it because there's nothing real to really say. What happened, and no amount of talking can fix it. What I can do at least, is choose to move past it. And that's what I'm doing now. I just hope that's what they're feeling too. Eventually I run out of the exhilarating energy that had so consumed me and instead drift to the bottom of the shallows. Then my back against the sand staring up at the murky glow of the sun. Feel my eyelids get heavy and I stretch out against the soft lake bed. It is, of course, a bad idea to fall asleep underwater. If that were to happen, though, I'd probably just try to breathe and get a nose full of water immediately wake up. Still, I decide if it's best I avoid that if I can and force myself to open my eyes again and swim to the surface. Except I can't. I'm frozen! The nerve on my body is on fire and I struggle not to panic. To not start trying to breathe because that's all my body wants to do. I close my eyes and will myself to be calm. Sleep paralysis usually only lasts a minute. At most for me, but I can hold my breath for 8 and I've been under for, God, I have no idea. It feels like it's been a while. My chest is already starting to burn and that usually means it's been at least 6 minutes. And this is starting to last a long time. Despite my efforts, panic sets in and it sets in quick. Start checking my body around trying to get anything to move. I don't understand why I'm not floating to the surface. I'm not trying to stay underwater. The seconds turn into minutes and now my lungs are really burning. Something has to be holding me down. Maybe some kind of vegetation? What's with the music? I don't know what's happening.
This is the old title screen of music.
Oh, okay. The water begins to glow red as if blood has spread across the surface above me. I tug and pull, praying that this is all a dream, that I'm back in Carl's room, and that for any moment I'll wake up. You thought it would be this easy? That's a good one. I try to turn my head toward the voice, which is right in my ear, even though I'm underwater. Things go silent again. At this point, I start to contemplate that I might actually die. I don't get my body to move. None of my friends know where I'm at, and now I'm almost out of air. I also press my lips as my lungs finally give out, and blackness starts to crowd in my vision.
Game over. Ah, that's unfortunate.
I'm clicking, nothing's happening.
We're dead. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, you went back and no.
Keep clicking.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He's waking up.
Waking up.
I slowly, painfully am face to face with Aram, his muzzle wet with tears. Oh my God, he is. Give him room.
Give him room.
I feel some rough paws supporting my back, turning me on my side.
Can you breathe, Chase?
Leo's voice is ragged next to my ear. Yeah, no, I'm fine. Sit up quickly and a wave of dizziness starts to topple me over again. I feel movement behind me, out of my field of vision.
No. I can't believe this. I can't fucking believe this.
Flynn's voice is torn and ragged. I barely recognize it. Calm down, Flynn.
No, we're forced to come here, then this shit happens. Guys, I need to go.
Wow, and things were going so well.
DJ, Flynn, get over here.
Leo's support leave me. Carl's still crouched down in front of me, though. Oh my God, dude, what happened? Carl's gasping like he's the one that was just underwater. I don't know. Carl rubs my back and I rest my head in his paws. Vaguely, I can hear more yelling behind me, and Carl looks up too.
No, don't. Leo, help.
Despite my aching head, I turn around and see Flynn chasing TJ, grab him and throw him onto the rocks? Flynn doesn't get any further though because Leo tackles him with such force they fly a good 5 feet before smashing down into the rocks and sand. Leo wraps an arm around Flynn's neck and yanks up hard. Jesus. Carl stands up and starts gasping again. I try to and I fall back down on my ass. Carl reaches down to help me up. Shit, you're not okay. Carl startles me, but I'm distracted with trying to see what's happening. Leo's leaning down with his muzzle right up against Flynn's head, yelling at him. While Jenna's crouched over TJ, Carl starts to breathe heavily again, his wheezing picking up speed. I look over at him and my eyes are glazed as if watching everything from afar. Carl? Carl, what's wrong? Don't want him to have another panic attack. I should probably stay and try to help, but I feel so fucked up right now. Besides, I don't think it will help Carl if Carl has a breakdown. I grab his arm. Let's get out of here, Carl. Looks at the scene a while longer and turns away. Without another word, we make our way back to the car. What the fuck happened? I get in. Like, I figured maybe they were scared about Chase nearly drowning in the lake, but like, it seems something else is going on. Yet I'm barely noticing that I'm drenching the seat. Looking through the windshield, I see that my friends are still in the same position we left them in, except Jenna. She watches us as we pull out and keeps watching us until we're out of sight. Carl stays glazed in his glazed state as we make the short drive back to his house. I can't give him much of my attention though. I'm more preoccupied with the fact that something terrible just happened. Not only to me, but the entire group. Maybe this is a dream? Everything feels so surreal right now, like I'm watching all of this happen from 100 miles away. I don't know. I look over at Carl, but his expression is still glassy. He looks exactly like how I'm feeling. What's wrong, Carl? I don't know. You don't? I'm cut off as a large coyote suddenly runs on out into the street. But she's a good distance down the road, so there's no danger of me hitting her. I watch as she tears out the sagebrush, zigzagging about, arms flailing in all directions. The hysteria is happening. Fuck. Carl and I both watch her as we pass silent. Something's happening in this town.
So, I do apologize for doing this, but I have to start going.
No, this is good. We have an hour and a half. That's good stream time right now. Okay, and this is actually a great time to end, just as the hysteria is popping back up. So yeah, let me see. Let's go to the save menu. Okay, we'll save right here.
Yeah, congrats! You got what you wanted.
Hey, it just sucks that it had to happen on Hysteria Day.
Yeah.
Wow, this town really does fucking ruin everything.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I'd like to thank you both for joining me on the stream. I am glad that I'm happy with the way this route was playing out. It seemed like we were making good steps, and then the fucking hysteria has to happen and fucking ruin everything. Oh man. I'm wondering, like, is the house going to be affected by this? Fuck.
Yeah,
because it probably will be. So let's see. Well, I'd like to thank both of you for joining me. Always great to have both of you here, especially when I'm playing this. I don't know what my schedule is next week. We won't know until later today. But once I do, we'll figure out when to do it next, and then maybe do a Breath of the Wild stream, because boy howdy, I need to cool it with the existential horror visual novels for a while. At least Burroughs isn't that existential. But anyway, thank you for joining me. If you like what you saw, be sure to give me a follow. I am a variety streamer. I play all kinds of stuff, and who knows, maybe I'll actually finish one of the things I've started. And until next stream, remember to stay healthy and stay hydrated. Laters!